Morning, gentlemen. You two look suspicious, so go ahead and show me your IDs.
We're just here having breakfast, man.
And legally, we don't have to show identification unless you're a real reason to ask. Right now, you don't. Actually, you know what? Both of you stand up. You're arrested.
Officer Daniel Carter stepped into Rosie's diner early on a quiet Tuesday morning after responding to a vague report about two suspicious black men. He swept his eyes across the room until they landed on Detective Victor Ramirez and Andre Collins, who were sitting calmly in a corner booth, reviewing case notes over breakfast. Without offering a greeting, asking questions, or taking even a moment to observe what they were doing, Carter marched straight over to their table and demanded their identification as if they were already suspects in a crime. When the two detectives politely explained that he had no probable cause and that his actions were violating their constitutional rights, Carter brushed their concerns aside and told them it didn't matter, because, in his words, your kind always looks suspicious. Even after running their IDs and finding nothing illegal, he didn't back down. Instead, when they refused to leave the diner, Carter pulled out his handcuffs and threatened to drag them out in front of everyone inside. And when the diner's owner stepped in, trying to defend two customers who were simply eating breakfast and paying their bill, Carter turned on him too, warning that he would arrest him for interfering with police business. What Officer Daniel Carter didn't realize, what he was about to discover in the most humiliating way imaginable, right there in a diner full of people recording on their phones, was that the two men he was trying to arrest were actually undercover detectives currently on duty. Even worse for him, the entire interaction was being recorded on his own body camera. Before the morning was over, his racist assumptions would cost him his badge and would eventually cost the city of Charlotte nearly $1.5 million in legal settlements. Dear viewer, before we get started, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. Rosie's Diner on a Tuesday morning had a comfortable rhythm to it, the kind that only develops after years of serving the same neighborhood. Coffee showed up before you even asked for it. Waitresses remembered exactly how you liked your eggs. The booths had witnessed thousands of conversations over the years and were ready for thousands more. It was the kind of place where people didn't just come to eat. They came to sit for a while, to slow down, to breathe before the day really began. In the corner booth by the back window sat Jordan Bennett and Malik Thompson. Jordan was 38 years old and had spent 12 years with the Charlotte Police Department. At the moment, he was assigned to the Narcotics Division, working undercover operations that required him to move through environments most officers never even saw. Across from him sat Malik, 34 years old with 9 years on the force. He worked in the same unit and handled the same kind of assignments. They were dressed the way undercover detectives often look when they're technically off the clock, but still carrying the weight of the job. Simple jeans, hoodies, nothing flashy or attention-grabbing. Jordan had his phone out on the table, quietly reviewing surveillance notes from a case they were building. Malik was scrolling through a list of contacts they planned to follow up with later in the week. They had placed their order about 20 minutes earlier: eggs, toast, and coffee. The kind of breakfast that required almost no thought at all. The waitress had already dropped off their coffee and told them the food would be ready in about 5 minutes. They had nodded politely and gone right back to their conversation. Mostly it was work talk. Names, addresses, small details that mattered when you were building a case piece by piece. Jordan sat with his back against the wall. It wasn't paranoia, it was habit. 12 years of police work trains you to sit where you can see the entrance. He had done it for so long that he didn't even realize he was doing it anymore. Malik sat across from him, his phone